What's up, Daily Fab Gamers? Thank you so much for watching my stream. Before we jump into this red-hot action, let's do some housekeeping. Use the chat command DECK for a link to the list I'm playing here. It's also in the video description. Some of these decks are sick, and you might want to play them in real life. If so, use the command HEML to enter the bazaar. It's never been more affordable to play in the flesh and blood. Players have been buying the cards they need from HEML for years. I started buying from him in 2023 and have never found a better deal. The bazaar's prices are the lowest for singles, full sets, and class sets, including new releases. Usurp the Shadow Throne set bundles are available now and ship both domestically and internationally. Use the data command to get a link to Fablazing.com, the best resource for matchup, tournament, and deck data. Follow my tournament journey and spam the coolest emojis by becoming a channel member. Channel members get matchup guides, post-game notes, elevated chat privileges, and more. Now settle in and get cozy because the stream begins now. What is up, everyone? Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining me once again for some Talishar gameplay. Today we are playing All In Together's Jarl list. We can go into a quick practice game. I just want to show you a little bit of what we're working with. This is available on All In's YouTube channel. I made a video about the deck. He's been playing some games with it. I'm posting those for you all to watch. The deck is solid. This is Future CC, so we are playing with the newest cards for Jarl that we've seen spoiled from Usurp the Shadow Throne, including Ancient Earth Oak, which is just nuts. The card is absolutely insane. 2-card 8 if you pitch an Earth card, which you should be able to do. It is an ice action, so if your opponent has an open armor slot, then Jarl will just give them a Frostbite. And if it hits, it gives them another Frostbite outside of their armor, which frankly is great. Like, the fact that the card gives them the Frostbite no matter what, but then can also give them a second Frostbite. They don't need 2 open armor slots, is really, really good. The other new card that we're working with is Ice Aged Oak. Less good. Honestly, it is an Earth 3-block blue. That's probably the most exciting thing about it. Yes, it has text as well. I mean, I would just play Autumn's Touch blue, copies 4 through 6. Like, the card doesn't need to have text on it to be good. This one also happens to have text. When it hits a hero, create an embodiment of Earth. That's really good defensive value if you do manage to connect. But it has that Ice Bond effect, so usually you're pitching this for second cycle, along with your Channel Lake Frigids, Channel Mount Isons, Crumble to Eternity, which can turn on the Ice Bond. Gives this Dominate. With 4 power, that isn't super impressive. We're not talking Macho Grande. But All In's list is also playing 2 copies of Pummel and 3 copies of Sprout Strength, which if you're pitching with the Ice Aged Oak means that you are coming in for 7 with Dominate, which does have some finishing potential, but also gives your opponent just a ton of Frostbite, which is pretty appealing, honestly. If they have 1, 2, 3, even 4 open armor slots, depending on the matchup, this can just represent 4 Frostbites eating their turn. If you manage to pair it with a Channel Mount Ison, they are also taking 4 damage. It's a really cool card. Definitely less flashy than Ancient Earth Oak, but it is what it is. So we're going to fire up some games in Future Classic Constructed. I also want to announce that I am now streaming on Twitch. This is a new thing for me. I have traditionally been YouTube only, but I mean, I'm streaming, so we might as well stream to both platforms at the same time. I mean, really, there's no reason not to. Playing Jarl again, are we on Summit yet? No. Sadly, we are only playing the good cards at this point. Into RKO, I don't mind playing, I don't mind boarding up one today's gameplay video with an Ice Age Oak. It's a cool combo. Like, I don't think that it is super necessary all the time, but can definitely be good. I mean, is there a reason to not just play 68 cards in this matchup? 69 even. The Blizzard is just a blue. Like, fat stacking against Archaeo is not super bad, and we are going to be playing Sledge because we do want to have a fatigue game plan. I mean, I don't necessarily want to fatigue Archaeo, but I do need to care about being fatigued. Guy goes away a couple of weeks and goes big time. Oh yeah, Ian. You know that I am going to be burning up on Twitch with my one follower. Play everything with Sledge and Tunic. I agree. Archaeo used to be a difficult matchup. Is that still the case? I am expecting it to be a difficult matchup. I mean, the deck is still really, really good. I get to do a fun thing with Ice Aged Oak being an ice card and just send this big-ass mangle with Dominate. I am not racing the Archaeo. We've seen that they've presented 70 cards as well. They have their Tunic. The point of this... I mean, also our Archaeo does not have -1 counters on any of the armor. The reason I'm doing this now is because Archaeo needs to be at a higher life total to turn on all of the boo effects. It's really important to me that I put Archaeo at a lower life total to start the game. So just getting 7 points of damage through on turn 0 is really appealing. Like, Archaeo can get booed through effects like boos. This big bully is going to be coming in for big damage, but I'm not giving it to Archaeo for free. We do have to care about this big bully being 8 damage currently, with a resource floating and a card in hand. I'm sort of expecting that this is going to be a KO activation to give it plus, what are we looking at, 2 power, bring it to 10, in which case I will shelter it. Sorry, for 12, so I am going to shelter this. Cover 10 of the 12 damage. I do put a Felling in my graveyard, which is not super exciting. That's one of my better cards. I get to Arsenal and E-Strike. We find a Pummel that I'm probably looking to play. My Tunic is about to be up, which means that depending on how this turn lines up, I can E-Strike for 5, go again, and then Tunic Sledge. Now, Kayo is representing Fleshbag, so that is a little riskier. I don't know that I need to give armor here. I am blocking with the Autumn's Touch because I want to put more earth in my graveyard, and I generally care about, again, preventing damage. Not to the point that I think I need to give armor yet. It's possible that I will. Got a Send Packing coming in. That is going to banish my E-Strike. Here I will block with some blues. I want my E-Strike back. And now the line is just going to be E-Strike for 7. I put a Pummel towards the bottom of my deck with the Ancient Earth Oak that I pitched on turn 0. So either the Ancient Earth Oak is just going to be played, and then I will find the Pummel on the next turn. I'll have multiple blues in that hand, so I can pummel the Sledge. Or, depending on how the turn cycle comes out, I might find the Ice Age, the Ancient Earth Oak, just arsenal it, and then be able to pummel it the next turn. Again, most of how we're navigating this early game is just staying at a higher life total than KO. And as soon as the hand works out, I will get to Sledge. E-Strike coming with Go again. I think at this point we're blocking with a Plow Under. It gets more earth in the graveyard. Would really love to be seeing more blues here. Depending on what the follow-up is, I can Tunic Sledge with Oakenold and Plow Under. Alternatively, I do want this Oakenold though. Might just block 7 with Plow and Sink and Arsenal the Oakenold. Archaeo is having good turn cycles, and I am sadly not. The other line might just be blocking with Sink Below, taking 4, and then doing my 2-card Sledge play. It's sad. I think that is what I'm going to do. Actually, what I'll do is just sink the Oakenold, of course, as a smart player would do. We don't find a blue, unfortunately. So I'm probably now looking at E-striking for 7, which is not exciting. Would really love to find a blue deck that's playing 34 blues in it. Fiddler's Green finally gives RKO the health lead that they have been looking for. We have not been doing much on our turns. Again, a consequence of not finding the blues that work really well with our deck. I think I am going to... I really want to get this sink below in my arsenal. So we may be sinking this and sinking the Frozen to death. Putting it next to the Oakenold that we just bottomed. Looking for something interesting to do. I'll Sprout Strength this Sledge. We get another Earth in the graveyard. Just draw better, truly. You're so right. Maybe someday. This is why I need to play All-In's List, so that I can try to acquire All-In skill and draw well. That turn 0 draw was really good, but since then, it has not been good. We've got a strong second cycle. This seems like too many reds. We are fat stacking this, so I brought in 8 reds to 1 blue. It definitely, like, the ratios are not good, but that is a consequence of our sideboard being entirely reds. I could have brought in fewer cards and presented a better ratio. And maybe that is what I'm supposed to be doing. I do not share the love of Sprout Strength that All-In has. This hand is pretty solid, depending on what Kayo does. Rootbound Carapace is going to get our Decomposed Train going. There's no resource floating, so this could just be Mocking Blow 4/5. Kayo can't just pitch a red or a blue in order to affect. So I'm not sure. We're probably looking at a Sigil of Solace here. I'm not giving armor on this. My line is just going to be Rootbound Carapace, swing, Command and Conquer, pitching Fruit to the Forest, holding Sink Below. Sprout Strength is goated. I just haven't been a huge fan of it. I should have discarded Fruits in response to Mocking Blow. This is true. Ultimately would not have mattered because Kayo had the Sigil of Solace, but you are right. I would have at least forced them to do it. Here we're just going to Command and Conquer. We represent Pummel currently. This might bait our opponent's Fleshbag. I'm kind of doubting it. We have the instant speed Fruits discard response to the Fleshbag. I mean, if my opponent gives me Fleshbag here, I'm very happy about it. Because we are opening up the armor slot. We have Channel Lake Frigid in the deck, Channel Mount Isons. Opponent is just giving us a shit ton of armor here, which is pretty solid. It means that they are very likely looking at a big play that just needed to not be disrupted. With 1 resource floating from the Vigor, Tunic up, a 5-card hand. I'm assuming something really horrifying is coming. Starts with looking for a scrap, makes sense. I am going to sink below this looking for a scrap. We know that our opponent is on Send Packing. We haven't seen a Command and Conquer from them yet. So I am highly suspicious that something is coming that says my arsenal is going to be affected. So I am going to play the sink just to get rid of it. Am I sinking any of these cards? I think I am probably sinking Ice Aged Oak. It's not very good right now. I'm kind of just looking for some action, like something to do with this hand. Flounder's not bad. That is in fact something to do. E-Strike go again. Yeah, opponent has a Scorcher coming up here. I think I'm blocking with Everbloom. I don't super mind getting another Earth into the yard. Not that I'm going to be decomposing it, more like I can start to cycle them with the other Everblooms. I don't think I need to give armor here. I would prefer not to block with Channel Mat Ison. Like, if I could Winter's Bite and then Plow under, that would be pretty solid. But even if I am just blocking with Channel Mat Ison here and sending the Plow, getting my boots online, taking Kayo's Arsenal. Never mind. We are just going to get Tunic KO'd for 10. Yeah, this was a horrifying turn from Kayo. This was an absolute banger of a turn from them. When are we drawing the broken cards? I would love to see some someday. Like, maybe eventually I'll draw some of the good cards. Because it has not been now. It has not been this game. We had a really good turn 0 and nothing since then. I think I'm fine to just block 6. We'll take 4 from the KO activation, and opponent likely checking for defense reactions. I don't mind arsenaling the Winter's Bite. I know that I'm going to get the Tunic out of my opponent, so I think all I'm doing here is just arsenaling the Winter's Bite. This has been an absolutely terrible game for us so far. Tunic is going to be up on our next turn, so we can look to just get blown up by CNC, I guess. Sink away this Winter's Bite. I'll block with a Crumble. Not terribly exciting. Pummel here, not coming at a great time. The Sprout Strength is not helping. We definitely have the potential to draw good cards in our deck. We just have not seen any of them. This absolutely feels like a skill issue. I should not Tunic here. I can just Sledge for 9. I'm going to Arsenal the Pummel. We're so far behind. I need to try and make something happen on my turn. Gravekeeping. Kayo keeping a 4-card hand. They got something spicy coming. Thankfully, we did draw Command and Conquer, so maybe I'll be able to do something cool on my turn, but I believe I'm blocking with Gauntlets here. I'm going to sink Shelter as well. I need something to do. So we will get to CNC with Tunic up to pummel it and then Arsenal of Felling. Like, things may start happening for me. We're not out of it yet. Our life total is not super far behind. We are about to get some very good value with the CNC pummel. Felling an Arsenal. We have so much earth in our graveyard to decompose. Well Grounded will finally be online. See how our opponent wants to block, if they're going to respect the pummel. If they just put, 12 block in front of this CNC, that's fine. Pummel is an Arsenal, so I don't get got by Felling. Opponent does respect the pummel. I mean, I am going to gain the life lead back, take 2 cards away from them. If they discard a Fiddler's Green here, I'll scream. Okay, great. Getting Shelter from Arsenal is pretty good. Just have a Show of Strength coming in for 8. This is the sort of hand that says, ooh, how much do we care about these Ice-Aged Oaks? I think the answer is probably not very much in this case. We still have 2 in the deck. I also don't super care about Channel Lake Frigid. I think we're blocking 6 here. Taking 2, I'm going to Everbloom my first Everbloom back into the deck and then Felling. We don't We lose our life lead, but we are not down on life, which is what Kayo needs us to be. Now we get to go up on life total, and then felling is, of course, going to take a card away from them and threaten 8. Olin says they're out of armor. I think you're super favored. I would love to be super favored. Get rid of a carapace, a fruits, and our action never really matters, but I always like to pretend that it does. I always like to needlessly devote mental energy to deciding what of my non-earth actions I'm going to banish. Get a sink below out of our opponent. Do they have the shelter or the sink in hand to cover the rest of this? Do they get to match our 2-card 8 with their 2-card 8? They do. Opponent is sinking from hand. Did not sink the second time, so I assume they found something to do. Our Well-Grounded is online. We do find a Command and Conquer. We do get to just put cards in front of the sledge. I don't know exactly how I should block this. I don't really want to put 6 in front of this. It seems like a waste. Neither of these are particularly good in Arsenal. I've learned by playing enough Guardian games, you really never want to Arsenal Terra Sunder unless you're basically in your second cycle. I think we're blocking with Terra Sunder. We're going to play the Channel Mount Ison to give them a Frostbite, and then we're going to play the Command and Conquer. The Frostbite may impact Kayo's ability to do something. We do have our Ice in pitch. That is going to let us keep the Channel Mount Ison around, and then the CNC is, threatening and on hit. So potentially, Kayo is going to lose a life from this Channel Mount Ison, but if nothing else, they do have to care about the Frostbite. Without a defense reaction or activating Kayo's ability, they cannot use they cannot clear the Frostbite at instant speed, so they do take the 1. Swing Big being a 2-card 8. It's already a 2-card 8, so that isn't super surprising. This is an interesting hand. Our opponent has very little armor left. We can decide if we want a felling. They have played 3 sink belows. We're looking at a shelter. This could be a shelter, but they would need to have another shelter in hand and also give us armor to cover the Oakenold. We could block with this felling. If we block with this felling, we play Oakenold, we pitch Ice Aged Oak, we fuse with Crumble. Or we take 8, we go to 9. The problem with that is that we are lowering our life total. This is a no-block hand? You think so? And just Arsenal the felling? I'll take your word for it, everyone. We're gonna say no blocks here. We're gonna go down to 9 and we're gonna send this Oakenold. Intentionally showing our opponent Crumble both times so that they do not know what is going into our arsenal. We do not get to keep our Channel Mount Ison around. That's fine, we weren't using it anyway. Opponent gives Scab Skins. Do they have the D-React in Arsenal? If they're Fate Foreseeing first, I assume they have a Sink in Arsenal, which is why they're fixing the top of their deck before they play the Sink below. Just playing Sigil of Solace. Sure. Potentially looking at a Mocking Blow in Arsenal. What do we have going on here? We can Frozen to Death, I suppose, and get the leathers. Not that I think that's good. I think what we're doing first is we are going to Everbloom and put our other Everbloom on the bottom of our deck. We are going to Ancient Earth Oak here. We get to pitch our Crumble to Eternity to turn it on. Our opponent has an open armor slot, so they're going to get at least 1 Frostbite, and then we are looking at giving them a second Frostbite. Also going to Gauntlets away my Frozen to Death. I don't need an Ice card in hand with this felling in my arsenal. So we're sending a 2-card 8, but kind of a 3-card 8. It gives a Frostbite on hit, which is nuts. We're threatening to take the life total back from our opponent. They will have Tunic up, but they have a Frostbite. So they don't just get to Tunic. They're also only blocking 7 here, so they get a second Frostbite from the Ancient Earth Oak. Or... am I wrong? Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, I was right. I was confused. I didn't realize where the second Frostbite went. So we were looking at Big Bully for 8. 9. Kayo gets booed. They cannot buff the Big Bully. So we are probably looking at blocking 9, sending the Felling. As much as I don't want to give away Mangle and Ancient Earth Oak, I want to present a difficult question with Felling of the Crown. We could... no, this is Earthbond, so we can't even get our value here. We will just block 9 here and then Felling. Second best ice card in the deck. Love the new ice cards. Ancient Earth Oak is a truly insane card. Ice Aged Oak is fine. It's an Earth 3 block. It has text that matters sometimes, but for the most part, it's just a blue block 3 that decomposes and, most importantly, pitches for Ancient Earth Oak. Ancient Earth Oak is just so good. Fate Foreseen coming down blocking 4. Does Kayo have the second defense reaction? They do not. So we do put them to 10. Mocking Blow, Big Bully, whatever is not going to get the buff. We just have a Swing Big for 8. This is a pretty easy block 6, take 2, go down to 8. I could think about well grounding here. The problem is I don't really use the Quicken. It would just be to preserve life total. That might be good enough, but our opponent still has 2 Command and Conquers and probably 1 Send Packing in the deck. We still have a Mangle, so I'm not really interested in giving up Gauntlets right now. We could have blocked 8 in total with the Sprout Strength and just Tunic Sledged, but Sprout is worth 3 on offense and only 2 on defense. And I do want to pressure Kayo's life total, try to get back above what they're at. So we will just Sledge for 9. What's up, Steven? Welcome to the chat. Sorry you're having a lame work day. Sad to hear it. Opponent effectively taking 2 with these blocks. We'll see if they have the defense reaction. They do not. Andrew Ostman says, I got off the Earth Oak that puts Frostbite in open slots to Ice Pitch last night against a Marlin with no armor. That is pretty gross. What is also pretty gross is that this hand does not fuse Oakenold. This hand doesn't really do much. We can probably just root bound this looking for a scrap and then put 3 in front of the Savage Claw. Send the Sledge by pitching Oaken and Pulse together. I mean, if this hand had a blue in it, I would absolutely be sending this Oakenold. As it is, we've used our Tunic, so there's really not much we can do here. Savage Claw is only attacking for 4, so breaking well grounded here is not very relevant. I'm losing value if I make that play. Let's get a Sprout Strength, the Autumn's Touch, and again, this doesn't matter, but I always like to overthink the situation like it does. Block with a Mangle and feel bad about it. Coming with our Sledge for 6. I assume we get 2 cards out of KO. We still have 2 copies of Fruits in our deck. Well, Grounded covers... It would have covered the Breakpoint on Savage Claw, but Savage Claw needs to have a card pitched to it. The 4 needs to be pitched to Savage Claw. You're not dumb. Don't ever say that. We're just going to put Rootbound in front of the E-Strike. I might break Well Grounded here. They're either going to do 2-card 8, which I'll get value from, or they're going to Claw, which I'll get value from. We will decompose Felling, Rootbound, Imposing Visage. I am going to break Well Grounded to cover these breakpoints. I'm hoping that the play here is just pitch card Savage Claw, which I can block with Terra Sunder and then send Earth Oak. We get Strongest Survive. I'll block this with Terra Sunder. I'm taking 3 from this. I guess I show Ancient Earth Oak. Doesn't super matter which one of these I show, because our opponent is very quickly going to learn what they are. Show the Earth Oak, send the Earth Oak. Opponent gets a Frostbite, and then we're threatening a second Frostbite as well. Also threatening to put Ancient Earth Oak back on the bottom of our deck. This is not insignificant, considering that this game is going to go long. We're already on turn 16. I am boarding and stacking like we are going to fatigue. Tunic is going to be up next turn, which means that I can block more aggressively than I might have otherwise because I get to sledge off of 1 card with Tunic up. We still have 2 Oakenolds in our deck. No more Fellings, no more E-Strikes. Opponent blocking 5 here is very good for us. We push 3, we take a life lead, we put Earth Oak back onto the bottom of our deck. Opponent has another Frostbite, which again, Tunic is going to be up. If they have like a swing big, they can get around this, because the Tunic will give them the resource. Just Savage Claw for 3. Do we go to 1 here, chat? We absolutely do not. We are just going to plow away whatever this is, and then hold the pummel. There's no... Keeping the Oakenold here is pretty greedy. To send a plow, we do a quick check for our opponent having Sigil of Solace. They do not have an instant in the arsenal, or if they do, they didn't want to play it. We are presenting lethal damage. Opponent needs to give us, could give us a 4-block defense reaction if they wanted to be very greedy. They have likely, possibly 1 Fate Foreseen, 1 Shelter left. They could be on a 3-sync, 2 Shelter, 2 Fate plan. If they give us the 4-block here, I mean, Pummel just wins. If they give us 2 3-blocks, they would need a defense reaction to not get pummeled. Their life total is below ours, so a 1-card Mocking Blow here is not very good. Opponent does block 10. Okay, well, I'm not going to pummel, and I'll just have a pummel. This is where, like, over-respecting the pummel like that, blocking 10 on pummel, just doesn't make sense. Because now it doesn't matter if I have the pummel or not. You have given me your turn. Suppose we're blocking with Frozen to Death? I'm going to send this Ice Age Oak because it has Dominate. We want to keep the Terra Sunder. We'll just block with Frozen to Death. We'll pitch Channel Lake Frigid. This just has Dominate, which means that it is going to connect. And then I put this Terra Sunder back in my deck when I pummel. And it kind of doesn't matter what my opponent has. This is where the Dominate gets very good. And the fact that it costs 3, so I can pummel it. Opponent gives us the good game. We'll give them the good game back. They take 5. They discard a card. No, I wanted to see the 3 Frostbites. GG. How many defense reactions did they have left? They had 1 more copy of Shelter and no other fates. So yeah, we were in a solid position, very far down early. That is really the power of Jarl with the new defensive cards, or the new offensive cards. Like, how much tempo did we get from these Ancient Earth Oaks? We also had 2 left in deck because they recycled themselves. This card is so absolutely obscene. It's so good. It's just exactly what Jarl needed. Keep it running with Jarl. As a reminder, this is All In Together's list. He has a YouTube video over on his channel detailing the new cards, detailing what he's done. He has gameplay videos up as well. It is through his gracious donation of this list to me that I get to play it for you all. Also a reminder, I am streaming on Twitch now. If you prefer watching on Twitch to YouTube, go ahead and check that out. I can drop a link to that in the chat. Even if you don't want to watch on Twitch, just go give me a follow, you know? I need followers so that I can get affiliate. So that I can ask you all for your Bezos bucks. That's why we do this, you know? That's why anyone makes content. So that they can farm money. Go drop a follow. Be a concurrent viewer. Support Flesh and Blood content on Twitch. Why not? What else are you doing? Also, chat there is slightly faster, so that I will see what you posted just a little sooner. Excuse me. This hand is... depending on what the Slippy does, this hand is pretty good. Small X, BIV, maybe the 4. Thank you so much for the Twitch follows. I am on Twitch now, Steven. Excuse me? When this attacks, each hero puts the top card of their deck face down into their arsenal. If 2 or more cards are put into arsenals this way, this gets go again. Putting Shelter is pretty good. Wait, you just want the money and not be friends? What are friends if not money? You are flicking me? I think that means I am sheltering here. I don't super want to be flicked, and this means that I get to Rootbound Carapace Concoct Disorder. No, I do want to be friends with you, Lands of Lumoria. My best friend in the world, Lands of Lumoria 7715. We're best friends because that's how I know how personal we are. That's your given name. Your Christian name, if you will. The Shelter in Arsenal is really good. If I did not have a Shelter in Arsenal, I would not have made that play. Hopefully our opponent does just pitch the last card in their hand to Calicera. I can Shelter from Arsenal. Ooh, never mind. You'll have to excuse the gardeners outside. As you all know, as any friend of the channel knows, this is when the gardeners show up. I really want to keep this Mangle and the Crumble so that I can do the thing. But I think that's greedy and I'm supposed to just block here. I am netting a 5-card hand out of this. Alright, never mind. I in fact did not get card advantage, but our opponent did not end the turn with an Arsenal. So we're still up going into our turn 1. Ian says, John developing parasocial relationships like a real YouTuber. Ian, I've always had parasocial relationships. Now I'm developing them on Twitch as well. So we have this Everbloom, which currently gets back nothing. Well, it gets back Crumble, but I don't super want to take Earth cards out of my graveyard this early in the game. I think what we want to do with this hand is pitch Crumble into Gauntlet, send the Ancient Earth Oak, and then Arsenal the Everbloom. Protects us from Codex, which is not super good right now. But mostly it just sends 8 and puts a card into Arsenal that may be good next turn. If this was a Syndra with a Flick Knives, I would be playing the Crumble to Eternity and trying to snipe the armor. But given that it's Slippy, I don't super care about the Flick Knives. Slippy gives me 3 whole-ass cards to stop the Ancient Earth Oak, which, deal. I'm super okay with that. We are going to gain a bunch of life, I guess. These Everblooms are about to be nuts. Sadly, I am not gaining enough life to put this Ancient Earth Oak back into my graveyard, or back into my deck. So we're just going to play the first Everbloom for life because, again, I don't want to take a Crumble out of my graveyard. Now I am happier to take Earth cards out of my graveyard because I know that I will be able to decompose this Felling. We just casually gain 3 life. And then send a 2-card 7. This is a lot less exciting when we are not online, but what can you do? I guess Mangle is the better banish than Ancient Earth Oak. Lands of Lumoria is your legal name. The year is the year you were born. True. The year of our Lord, 7715. Imposing here, I could have, but again, I don't super care about crumbling the Flick Knives. I think I would rather just gain the 3 life. Inertia Trap wouldn't have been good anyway, but then is also not good here. I'm surprised they didn't Inertia Trap me when I played the Ancient Earth Oak, because it did have more power than its base. I would not have been got by it, because I could have played my Everbloom at instant speed, but still, surprising to me. We don't have a Tunic, so I don't get to do the play that I want to make, which is Channel Lake Frigid Tunic CNC. Which means that we are probably just going to block with the Crumble, depending on what the rest of our opponent's turn looks like. We either CNC their arsenal, or we block with the CNC, and then felling them. Felling will decompose. It does come in for 8. I think blocking with the Crumble here is correct. We can save the Channel Lake Frigid for later in the game. I'm not really expecting this game to go to second cycle, so I don't think it really matters which one of these I see later. Okay, that works for me. CNC because it has text. I'm surprised that our opponent didn't have a follow-up. Even just pitching one of their 2, I don't know, attack actions or reds or whatever to Calicera to flick the Kiss of Death would have been the correct play, I think. CNC hits the Inertia Trap. That would have hit our Felling of the Crown. We're so up. We're so down. This hand doesn't have a blue in it. Suspecting that this comes in... Oh, it only comes in for 3. That's nice. I'm still going to sink it here. And we're going to sink the Oaken Old. Yeah, because even if we draw a blue, we can't fuse it. I'd rather Arsenal these... Well... Maybe we are supposed to... No, because the CNC has text. I don't want to play for having such a big hand that I can Felling and also keep a card. We are getting marked by Clave. Blood-Splattered Vest generates a resource. This is Slippy, not Marionette, so I don't think it matters that we don't get marked. We'll sink the Oaken. We find an Earth. We find a blue, so I do get to Felling. Pain in the backside coming for 3. Our opponent needed the resource for something. I suspect the something is going to be Concoct Disorder. Could also be... Well... No, because Rabble doesn't have... I was thinking it could have been an attack reaction, but no, none of the 1-cost, no Spike. Spike, Stains can't affect non-stealth, I believe. So I do think that this is just going to be Concoct Disorder, which I'll get to cover with 4, and then Felling. Or they just pass? I don't know. I'm not going to block this. If they clear the mark with no follow-up, then I guess they got me. Like, I am going to bottom this shelter. Okay, there we go. I don't love that use of Blood Splattered Vest from them. It pushes a damage. Maybe they think this game won't last long enough for them to really find the Blood Splattered Vest value, but the reason to play Blood Splattered Vest is to use it for your 1 costs. I'm not going to complain. Send Felling for 8. Mirror Online. Well Grounded has text. Our opponent has to bottom a card. Let's see how much damage they want to take and how many cards they want to keep. It could be in Slippy's best interest to just take 8 and send damage. Their 3-card plays are not very good, but they need to be doing something. Blocking with the Codex of Inertia is an interesting play. It makes me think that this might just be Codex Frailty. It is indeed. We do not have a card in our arsenal. So it's going to be Ancient Earth Oak CNC or Felling of the Crown. I only have 2 Earth cards in my or 2 Earth cards in my graveyard, so Felling is not online currently. I believe we're getting back Ancient Earth Oak and discarding Frozen to Death. I'm going to sink below the Leave No Witnesses and sink nothing. And then my line is going to be Ancient Earth Oak, Pitching Felling, and Channel Lake, which I need to do so that I can turn on the Earth Bond. Pitching Channel Lake on its own would not give it the +2 or threaten the... I guess it would threaten the Frostbite on hit, but it would not threaten the bottom this card. I do not believe saving the Felling here is worth it. I think it is more important to send the 7 than it is to send 5 with a Felling in Arsenal. Opponent seems to be taking the damage, so we get both triggers. Earth Oak goes on the bottom of the deck. We're going to put it next to a Felling. Our opponent does not have an open armor slot, so Winter's Bite won't be quite as good as I want it to be. At this point, we are just trading a card for a card. Opponent passes the turn, which is an interesting choice. At this point, we will Arsenal the Winter's Bite. So we are over pitching. Need to make sure to put that Autumn's Touch next to the Ancient Earth Oak so that I can Earth Oak Arsenal the Felling. Rando Khan, can't wait to spend the next several years forgetting which of these is an Earth card and which is an Ice card. I have already been making that mistake in practice. Playing Oaken Old and wondering why Talishar would not let me fuse my 2 Earth cards to turn it on. I like the flavor. Neither one is in my graveyard, of course. I like the flavor. But yeah, that is very confusing. Autumn's Touch goes down first. Arsenal the Winter's Bite. I would love for my opponent to break these Prey Spotters. At this point, his hand just isn't very good. I think we're blocking with Imposing Visage. Do we respect the attack reaction? I don't think we... I mean, we could. And block 6. Our opponent arsenals the Razor's Edge. We just send Titan's Fist for 4. Discard Fruits. So the problem is I block 3 here. They Razor's Edge. They hit. They take my arsenal. And now my hand doesn't really do anything. I think I'm fine just overblocking. And if they have a Leave No Witnesses or something else that I have to block or respect, and then yeah, they got me. So yeah, Codex of Frailty gets back Leave No Witnesses. Now I have to make a decision of, am I protecting this Winter's Bite? I think I'm just blocking 5. We have a Frailty, so the Titan's Fist only comes in for 3. I think this is fine. What's up, Delph? Good to see you here. I hope you are as excited for Jarl as I am with the new cards, one of which we even drew. We don't get to turn it on, but we drew it. We have 2 ice cards in our hand, which is kind of unfortunate. Depending on what our opponent is doing, I may be looking to crown something away to try to find some action. Even finding just another blue to give Mangle Dominate with Gauntlets and Channel Mount Ison to get this Prey Spotters would be pretty good. I'm not going to block this Prowl. I don't want to use the Crown of Providence yet. Alternatively, we could crown away our Mangle and try to find the Fuse for Oakenhold. We have 2 ice cards in our hand. We are likely... Oh no, my hero text. What will I do without my hero text? Lobotomy is a very good card. I really like this card quite a bit. I think I'm going to give Stalagmite here. It doesn't do a ton about my opponent's hand. About their turn, they still have 3 cards, so they could pitch a red, play Razor's Edge, Arsenal a thing. I don't think I'm really getting them here. The question is, what am I bottoming with Crown of Providence? I believe the answer is Oakenhold. Find a Mangle, which is not good anyway. No, our Stalagmite. That matters. We lose the Stalagmite, which isn't great. I don't get the back half of it. But I do get to Winter's Bite and take a card away from my opponent. My line is going to be Mangle, pitching Mangle and Channel Mount Ison. It doesn't have additional text, but it has an effect. Right. Our opponent has very little blocking armor left. I will just get this Prey Spotters, which is not irrelevant. Olin says it's cop gambling time. We love a good cop gamba. We lost the gamba. We got nothing from it. We drew one of the worst cards we could have possibly found in that specific situation. But we're up 5 life. We take a Meat Madness and a Spike from our opponent. We push 2. Oh, I pitched wrong. That's fine. I definitely did not mean to keep this Mangle. I'm also not rewarded for keeping the Mangle. I will get to play this Oakenhold and, like, do the thing. But, yeah, this is not good. That's, as we say, a mistake. We screwed up. Our opponent puts an Earth card into a graveyard. We're so up. We're just taking 3 here. I don't care about losing my hero text. Again, we're just going to play this Oakenhold in, like, the worst possible way. I would have loved to keep this Fruits of the Forest so that I could have discarded it to gain 2. I would have loved to... Well, I guess this would have been an Ancient Earth Oak, so I wouldn't have gotten to Arsenal either of these anyway. We're just pushing 9 here. We have tempo in a big way. I'm very unconcerned about losing this game at this point. Depending on what we draw in the next hand, hopefully we can just do the Mangle. Like, as it is, I can Mangle for 10 or with Dominate. I can still Mangle for 10 or with Dominate. I was really looking for a red Earth or Ice so that I could have done both modes off Gauntlets with a single activation. We are just going to play Channel Lake Frigid and Mangle for 8. We'll Arsenal this Plow Under. I could have activated Gauntlets here in order to send Mangle for 10, but there's no Dominate on this. And with the Channel Lake Frigid down, our opponent may already be incentivized to block this turn. So I don't feel like I'm really getting too much value by putting +2 onto this. Our opponent could just give us another card and then do nothing. As it is, we get 2 reds, we push 2 damage, we get to keep our Channel Lake Frigid. This Plow Under is going to do something next turn. Depending on what our opponent does, we have the ability to block 8, Plow Under, and then arsenal another Plow Under. Prowl is one of the worst cards our opponent could have at this point. Creep is also not a great one. Do we get anything by sinking here? Not particularly. So I think we are just playing our Root Bound. We're not going to decompose because we don't need to. We will just put another Earth card into our graveyard. Cover the creep because why not? I'm going to send the Plow Under, arsenaling the Sink below. Opponent tries to play Persuasive Prognosis and cannot because Channel Lake Frigid is a real card that really exists. We decompose. This decision doesn't matter. We get our opponent's Persuasive Prognosis, which is probably helping them, if we're being honest. I don't think that's a great card for them to have in their arsenal. Threatening 6 points of damage, which represents more than 25% of our opponent's remaining life total. We get to put a very good card into our arsenal. We lose our Channel Lake Frigid, which is unfortunate. The hand itself is not great, but I will get to send this Plow Under again. Mark of the Black Widow coming for 3 with Go again. I don't super care about this, but I'm not going to block it. I want to wait for my opponent to do something. I'm going to give my opponent an "Are you sure about this?" which I really thought we had. I want to invite them to chat. Okay, they fixed it. I wanted to make sure my opponent knew. Never mind, you caught it. Wanted to make sure my opponent knew that they did not need to Stalker Steps the Mark of the Black Widow that already has Go again. At this point, I wanted them to Prey Spotters me before I Sink Below. They have the Razor's Edge. I figured they would have an attack reaction. Does this change my decision? I'm going to sink this Plow and try to find something more exciting. We kind of do. I will Root Bound here. I'd rather play the Root Bound and not take 2 and lose a card from my hand than not play the Root Bound, take 2 and lose a card from my hand. I suppose I could have well grounded there so that I could have kept the defense reaction. I'm playing the Ancient Earth Oak. I am going to overpitch for it so that I can get Earth into my pitch to get the +2 on Ancient Earth Oak. Opponent doesn't have an arsenal, so the Plow Under is less good. We have a Felling of the Crown in our graveyard, so I am pretty interested in having an open arsenal to play around Codex of Frailty. So my opponent codexes me and I just pick up a Felling. Now our turn is a little less interesting. I'm just going to tear asunder. We send for 5. Our opponent could have an Inertia Trap, but they have to give me Flick Knives and Blood Splattered Vest unless the D-React is in their arsenal. Well, Grounded does get flicked, Black Tech Whisperer. You are right. So yeah, that would have been a bad play. Opponent does not give armor or a defense reaction from arsenal, so we take 2 cards. Opponent has 13 cards left in their deck. At this point, we're kind of fatiguing them. I don't know. I kind of autopiloted into pitching this Pulse of Ice and Loft. I wonder if I was supposed to pitch Fruits. We've seen 2 Inertia Traps. What are the chances that they're playing a third one? Which is what would have punished me for pitching Pulse, or for keeping Pulse there. Opponent leave no witnesses. I'm just taking 4 here, honestly. My line is going to be Winter's Bite. They get a Frostbite. Pitch a card. I'll Terrace Under Titan's Fist again. I don't think this matters. No, my Everbloom. I needed that so I could keep Everbloom looping. At this point, we're just slowing our opponent down. Terrace Under is actively taking cards out of their deck, unlike something like Oakenold would. Just the way that they're blocking, I am now expecting this game to go to fatigue. They're also not pitching. This is the downside of Redline Slippy into Jarl. To be clear, I think that Redline is the best way to build Slippy at present, but they're never pitching anything. So they're never sustaining. We're never expecting them to stack a pitch. I mean, they kind of did, just based on the Frailty Razor's Edge Tarantula Toxin. But this game is pretty over. Now we get to Oakenold. This is not going to kill them. It is going to slow them down. But it will put them closer to lethal range. Fatiguing by damage is real in this matchup. I am not going to play life at instant speed. I'm just going to Arsenal this Channel Lake Frigid. We did find an ice card. It wasn't really the ice card I was looking for. Because at this point I can play Channel Lake, pitch Earth Oak and Autumn's Touch, play Felling, pitch Everbloom. I think what I'm more interested in doing is playing Everbloom, playing Ancient Earth Oak, and then IPing the Felling. This is 1 damage. I'm really not intending to block here. I don't care about this. I could have well grounded it. But looking at the life totals, I'm pretty far ahead. Opponent does just pass. They're looking to set something up, which, to be clear, is the correct way for them to navigate this matchup. They do need to be putting big turns together in order to get through a massive suite of armor, 9 defense reactions, Frostbite, Disruption, Channel Lake Frigid. But with Ancient Earth Oak now in the deck, we just have a little bit more disruption that slows them down to the point that I don't think this matchup is unwinnable for Slippy, but it's very bad. Very, very bad. Once Marionette LLs, I'll be very excited to see the direction that Slippy goes and how prevalent Jarl is in the matchup, because I think this matchup is terrible for Slippy. There's just no pitch. All of their attack reactions are countered by my defense reactions, or just like blocking. Channel Lake Frigid keeps them off of doing anything. Felling of the Crown is now presenting lethal damage. The Felling effect itself slows them down. If they block this out, then they have 1 hand of cards left in their deck. If they don't block this out, they're taking damage. I will draw a way to deal enough damage that they have to keep blocking. We were going to fatigue them anyway, just based on how aggressively they were blocking my early damage, but now we truly are fatiguing by damage. We also just kill them through physical damage. We found the Oakenold. And we do have the way to fuse it. With Ancient Earth Oak being an ice card, it looks like an earth card, but it is not. Send the Oak in, fuse, you are dead. I'll even gain 2. I'm not going to gain 2 life because that's bad-mannered, but we all know that I could have. And we, oh my god, it was a shred. They arsenaled a blue Eek. Good cards are good. Let's keep it running. Thank you all for joining me. I'll remind you between games again, this is All In Together's Jarl deck. He has a video up on his stream, up on his channel rather. You should go watch it. Oh no, it's the good hero. You should go watch it. It breaks down the new cards, what's in the deck, his approach to game plans, his approach to matchups, his macro plans. He also has gameplay videos with the new cards. I highly suggest you all go watch if you want to see more of Jarl and want to see someone who's better than me piloting the deck. And I am on Twitch. This is new for me. I have not been on Twitch before. Very excited to be streaming on Twitch. Looking to just extend the reach of my channel. Thinking this deck might be cracked. It is pretty good. What am I supposed to do against Oscilio? Against blind Oscilio? Like, I can imagine boarding like this, and this is the, like, this is how I would board for Spellio. But is this viable into normal? I guess we take out the plows and we put in the fellings. This is like very, I do not know how to board for Oscilio. This hero is a real problem. Let's board like this, and then I'll have Rob tell me in chat that I did it wrong. This is Spellio, so I did kind of board correctly. Oh, I can't even filter to Mangle. Rob, I don't like Null Rune Gloves. So I'll just pass. Rob, I think Null Rune Gloves are not good. I think Gauntlet's Arboreal Domain is just better no matter what Oscilio you're playing into. If you're gonna sigil me, then I am gonna mangle you and just push damage. I guess the play would have been activate Heart of Ice, and that's how I filter these out. And then if they pitch to play sigil, then I, again, bop them for 8. It looks like it didn't matter. They would have just... Never mind, it would have mattered. Alright. I forgot that I have Heart of Ice. Okay. So that's what I was supposed to do there. Opponent is actively fatiguing themselves, which is why they boarded 67 cards. Meteoric Impact coming in for 6? Question mark. We will do 4. I am going to, I suppose, do Ison Imposing. My turn is going to be play Crumble. I think we AB2 here, so I can keep a blue. We're just going to crumble the Striders, because this is a thing that my deck is capable of. We IP the blue, so that they can't do too much arcane damage shenanigans at the end of my turn. Crumble breaks. This Ancient Earth Oak will have Dominate, but I'm probably sending the CNC instead. Comet Collision, just coming for 4 damage. I am going to AB4 with Channel Lake Frigid and Ancient Earth Oak, because I'm going to send the CNC. Okay, great. Snap back for 5, because of course it is. We will AB3 here. I'm going to still want to send the CNC while I can, and while it has Dominate. This is possibly an instant in Oscilio's arsenal, which means that they just get me. The CNC has no text, but I'm hopeful that I'm either getting 2 cards from hand or Crown of Providence, which opens up an armor slot for ice cards. If this was a blue, I would have loved to Heart of Ice before playing the Command and Conquer. You are hard casting Echo Flash. I'm taking damage. Can't not do it. I take 3 from this. Can't stop it. See what the CNC hits, if anything. This is awesome Jarl gaming while I eat a seafood boil. This is one of the most boring matchups that I think could possibly exist in Flesh and Blood. Coming in for 4, I believe I am going to AB4 this. My line is going to be pass. I'm just going to arsenal this Mangle and wait to be able to do a thing. Boy, this sure would be good if I had Gauntlets of the Boreal Domain. That would be pretty cool. I do think Well-Grounded is going to become much better, right? When Viserai and Vincent when Viserai exists, and both Runeblades become more prevalent. Like, I do understand the appeal of AB1 in the arm slot, so that you can Well-Grounded in the boot slot, but at least while Oscilio is a top 1 deck, Oscilio is the best deck, I do think you want Gauntlets of Boreal Domain specifically for Mangle to blow up Striders. Like, I do think that is correct. Coming in for 5, I am going to AB4 it. I want to undo. I want to pitch differently so that I can put an Earth next to the Ancient Earth Oak. Like, I'm still going to AB4 here. I'm just going to do it differently. And then we will remember to Heart of Ice. JK. We're just going to AB3 and do nothing on my turn. We are fatiguing after all. Why not fatigue? I do like AB4. The Aether Sling here is very good. I don't know if this is the time to take damage. It might be. I think we AB3. Maybe we are just taking damage here. Like, whatever the follow-up is, we just take so that I can pummel the Mangle. Let's give it a shot. I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing what happens. We could have crumbled for the Mangle Dominate. That is true. I don't hate that idea, Rob. That would have been a good point. Just crumble the, I don't know, Crown of... maybe the Metacarpus nodes? I'm going to take my 2 here. Let the Oscilio know that I'm going to pummel. This deck is so broken. It just has so much to do. It never bricks, you know? I can never keep a giant hand to Heart of Ice and Mangle Pummel, because the deck always has just a stupid amount of arcane damage to throw. Does anyone remember when the next banned and restricted announcement is? Because I'm very interested to know if LSS is going to do something about Oscilio. Swell tidings. They really do just play whatever, huh? Cloud Cover does protect the Striders. It does not protect the hand. Alright, so crumbling the Mangle there, yeah, would have been ideal. It would have meant that we connected, at least based on what they've shown us. Welcome to Wizard versus Guardian, says Ian. This is So fun. So fun and interesting. Well, we found this at least. Can't stop that. They likely just let the deck LL. I really hate that they keep doing that. Is there anyone in chat who likes LSS's approach to letting Living Legend balance the game for them? I really feel like within the first 2 or 3 years, someone on the team, it was either James or Brian, wrote in an article that they were never going to let LL balance for them. Starvo was the exception. They were going to let Starvo just go. And then they let Lexi just go. And since then, they have really not... Like, once a hero got past 500 points, they just said, nah, screw it, they're gone. And that's really annoying to me. Because the whole point of balancing your game, the whole point of BNRs, is that you balance the game. Like, otherwise, what are we doing? What's the point? This is Aethersling for 5. You can discard Shelter. Beginning of your next action phase. Destroy this, then the next card you play this turn costs 1 less to play. Shouldn't this have been... Oh, they pitched the Fate Foreseen. They stopped Florian after Aurora left. That's so true. Let the players vote for bans. The best solution. And... I believe I'm just passing with this Channel Mount Ison. I don't think I'm playing it. I think I'm just holding holding 3 points of life in my hand. Steven says it was explicitly said that sentiment. Yeah, so then balance Oscilio. I felt that way with Victor. If the hero can't LL on its own, it shouldn't LL. Like, I know that was the thing with Victor and letting Goldmane, State, and Remembrance just stick around, but if the hero can't LL on its own, it shouldn't LL. AB4. At this point, I'm not just going to hold back. I am going to Heart of Ice for the first time this game. Wow. And then we'll Titan's Fist. I just don't want to hold these 2 blues, and I don't want to Arsenal either one of these. Coming in for 4, we are representing AB2 currently. Well-grounded, will never activate. Because we have 1 Earth Engrave. I will still get fisted by Spelio with Guardian anyway. I do think that there is a way to not get fisted by Spelio. We're going to save the thought. Shuffle 3 non-attack action cards from your graveyard into your deck. Create a Ponder token. Why not? Super fun. Very cool. I'm going to Sprout Strength Titan's Fist for 6 and feel bad about it. Arsenal this Oakenold. I think there are ways for Jarl to build around Oscilio for sure. I mean, there are ways I could have boarded better if I had known it was Spelio. The problem is I have to hedge against it not being Spelio, because if this is gone in a flash, then my equipment loadout is not good. Straferi, who you should check out on YouTube, by the way, says, I am not a fan of pre-bans for the most part. Like Talk a Big Game getting pre-banned was a bad choice, but CLV getting pre-banned makes sense. It just depends on how much we trust LSS to make the right decision. And that is a contentious question, I think. Right? Like, sometimes they make the right decision. We are going to Heart of Ice first. Let Oscilio decide what they want to do. Maybe I was not supposed to do that. I don't know if Heart of Ice there was correct. At this point, I do get to arsenal this Plow Under, which is I have exactly 2 Earth cards in my graveyard. Rob says there's a different way we'd approach this matchup. I'd be interested to know. Like, I think that Oscilio is going to continue to be one of the best decks in the format until he either LLs or gets a significant amount of nerfs. Kindle Comet Collision. What is my line going to be? So I guess I am on AB4. AB4, and then I'll send the Plow Under, arsenal the Ancient Earth Oak. Ancient Earth Oak definitely has the potential to be good. Coming in for 2, what is Oscilio's arcane package looking like? 1 snapback, 1 strike twice left. I'm very bad at the game, so I didn't check what they got back with Savor the Thought. Or Save the Thought. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We love to see our Plowlanders get 4 value. Comet Storm coming in for 5. We get to 80 for that. I believe I'm sending the Earth Oak here. Just because I can. It's kind of tempting to send the CNC while they have an arsenal, but they do have Crown of Providence. Ancient Earth Oak does give them a Frostbite, which they have Tunic to pay for it if they really wanted to on my turn now. This does represent a 2nd Frostbite on hit, and I have the Earth Pitch. So I think while I'm saying, oh, CNC has text because they have an arsenal, I think that it is also better to send the Earth Oak now. Mydic says it's probably Burn Bear and 2 other 5 to 6 arcane spells. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Like, it really is not worth thinking too much about. How did YouTube forget to notify you again? There was a way, Rose, for YouTube to send emails to all of my followers that I was going live, and I think it's just gone, because I can't find the way to turn that on. Aether Sling coming in for 5. So we are going to AB4 with E-Strike and Tear Asunder. We take the 1, Oscilio taps. I am probably just AB4ing again. With the Kindle, of course. To 10. As far as the pitch stat goes, this doesn't matter. We're never going to see any of these cards again. I wish YouTube would let you know that I went live. I wonder if enough people just complained about it, because I could see it being very annoying, depending on how often your streamer goes live. Fiendal Spirit just subscribed. Ian, were you not subscribed? My guy, my brother, what are we doing? You're targeting me. That's cool. I get to do something about that. I can even gain 2 life on my turn. Burn Bear, pitching Mindfire, Snapback. We are taking 3 damage from this. Unlucky. Do I want a Heart of Ice here? I think I probably do. Let Oscilio decide what he wants to do. We get to send Command and Conquer. The Heart of Ice is not super punishing because Oscilio can't play defense reactions to the CNC, but I was hoping that they would want to put themselves in a better position to do it. Crown of Providence has been around forever, so I'm not expecting to keep them off of a 5-card hand. That was a notification of 6 months of channel membership, John. Well, I don't see that from my panel, Ian, but thank you. I appreciate you. I get to gain 2 life. I do not have an Everbloom to loop. I do not have a way to turn on Titan's Fist. Tap Lessons is just going to get a bead. I believe... So are you seeing it on your screen that you give me money? Because usually Caster Labs tells me, but it hasn't been. It tells me who subscribed. But are you seeing big notifications on your screen that I received money? Because I set that up. Talishar, please. Talishar, please. Don't concede just because the board looks bad. Flesh and Blood games can swing quickly. Keep that in mind, everyone. If you're new to Flesh and Blood, keep in mind that even when you're getting turbo-housed by Arcane Oscilio, we go to the Talishar Discord and we ask, did Talishar die? Because I believe the answer is no. We're just going to arsenal this pummel. Chat, do we do it? We do. We do, in fact, take 5 damage so that I can pummel this Okanold. Rose is single-handedly carrying YouTube content creators. It's true. It's true. Rose is the GOAT. So we don't just get there. If the Oscilio was at 10, I think we would get there. They might have defense reactions. I think we might get there no matter what. I see. You have chosen to cheat. No, that's fine. I don't think it matters whether the Oscilio takes this back or not. We're going to see if we can get there. They have to block with at least 1 card from hand, or I suppose a defense reaction from Arsenal. I don't think they can kill me on their turn. I also don't think they can kill me on my turn with 6 resources in hand, because I don't need to pummel this. But even if they're trying to get there with instants and a snap, it should not be at a snapback. They could be at the strike twice. I don't believe they can kill me on my turn or their turn, and I'm going to put them low enough that I start to threaten them with the Titan's Fist. What is your D-React count? We should be looking at a cloud cover. That's fine. Probably... they have a Shelter and 2 Fates. They should have a Sigil. We are going to pummel this. This currently represents lethal damage. Depending on where their card comes from. Consigned to Cosmos. It's coming for... Is this 2? This is 3. Do you have a snapback, which would kill me? You do have a Fate Foreseen. That's fine. I'm going to take your hand. We're going to have the pummel go first. Could they have not killed me with strike twice? Oh, they didn't nodes. Whenever you play a card with an effect that deals arcane damage, you may pay 1. If you do, that effect deals that much arcane damage plus 1 at the beginning of the end phase. Or that much plus 1. Would I have not died there? I feel like I was dead. Okay, Ancient Earth Oak is pretty good here. Unfortunately, I do need to pitch fruits to do the thing, which means that we are going to pitch to Heart of Ice because I have that freedom. Maybe it would have been enough to have sent the Ancient Earth Oak for 6 and then gained 2 with the fruits. It's very possible. Maybe boots confused him. I mean, my boots are not online, but... Ooh, playing around a pummel gives me Tunic. We take those. I'm going to Arsenal this Channel Mount Ison. 1, because it's just a fine card to have in my arsenal. 2, because I can Crown of Everbloom it. What do I want to do here? We have a few options. I can start with the Channel Mount Ison to give a Frostbite. I can pitch the Channel Lake Frigid, which lets me keep the Frostbite. I could send Ice Aged Oak, which is kind of interesting. I think the line is open with Channel Mount Ice and see what happens. We could think about Heart of Icing here, which would take 2 cards in order to defense reaction. I think my line is going to be always HOI. Should I be starting with that? I'm going to have Heart of Ice here. Oscilio will need to pay a resource in order to Oscilio to pay through the Frostbite. I am just going to Command and Conquer. I'm going to Arsenal this Plow Under. Oscilio should have defense reactions left, and I want to make sure that I just get this one. And the Plow Under should have text next turn as well. Activating the boots to survive is definitely something I considered. I figured that I could do it this coming turn. Like, I can HOI here, pitch Pulse. Send the Plow now. Actually, maybe... Sorry, I need to pitch differently. I think I am pitching Channel Mount Ison. I need to hold Pulse because Ancient Earth Oak needs an Earth card to be pitched to it. So if I pitch the Pulse into the Heart of Ice and then play the Earth Oak, I will not get the +2. And I really want the +2. Okay, Heart of Ice is active. I believe now I'm playing this Plow Under to get the Arsenal, Threaten Lethal, turn on Well Grounded. Let me just make sure that I have 2 Earth Engrave. I do. My Crown of Everbloom is offline, but that's fine. Well Grounded being online is sick. I get to Arsenal Ancient Earth Oak. I have to hold this Pulse of Ice and Loft. Cosmic Flare for Burn Bear. This is coming for 7. So we don't Crown of Everbloom it. We go Well Grounded. 4. Heart of Ice. See what the Oscilio does. 2 cards left in deck. There's Save the Thought. That's fine. Will of Arcana is maybe not fine. Save the Thought is going to put big spells back in the deck. We are going to try to get there off the back of 8. They have 3 cards in hand. So possibly, if they can't kill me here, they might just have to block out. I'm representing AB2. Cards are Burn Bear, Tap Lessons, and Burn Bear. If I was a better player, I would know what the cards are in the deck. I might even know what the 3 cards in hand are. Ancient Earth Oak is going to give them a Frostbite. So if Jarl resolves, then the next card they play will cost 2. 1 from Heart of Ice, 1 from the Frostbite. Ancient Earth Oak does have an on-hit. The on-hit is they die. Fate Foreseen, not going to get you there. Fate Foreseen costs 2. Ancient Earth Oak has done it. We have beaten the Scourge Spellio. Wow. Good game. That was crazy. Rob, I think this deck is really good. I think this deck that you've put together is quite a good deck of Flesh and Blood cards. We should have time for another one. Hopefully it's an aggro mirror, or an aggro deck. All in together on YouTube. Put this deck together. It's sick. Watch his deck tech. Watch him play it. Just watch Rob generally. He's a very good player. Very good at Guardian stuff. Much better Jarl player than I am. If you do want to watch more of me, I am on Twitch. Do I want to go first or second into... Me too. Do I want to go first or second into Viserai? I feel like I want to go second if I'm treating him like an aggro deck. I think I'm going to try something, because I think maybe I am supposed to fatigue Viserai. I think that's what I want to try doing. So we just play 63 cards. I don't think I need Sprout Strength. I don't think I need E-Strike. And that's pretty good. Do we just dump the hand? Vestige of Flagellation says the first time an opponent would gain life each turn, instead you lose that much life and create that many Vigor tokens. Well, I guess I'm not going to just play this Everbloom. I think I just do the thing. We go Channeling Frigid, Imposing, Crumble the Creepers. You can kind of set up, I don't know how to play this matchup yet, says Allin. Well, I guess we're going to learn together. If this one is a banger, I'll put it up on YouTube. I'm trying to be a little more mindful about how I talk through the games. I hope today has been more productive for everyone, because I am being more intentional about how I talk through my games so I can turn them into YouTube VODs. And this will be a great one because we're still waiting for a lot of Viserai's card pool, but definitely a real deck that we are all going to have to think about. And yeah, just very interested to figure out what this hero is up to, what they have going on. Runechant of Wrath is the overpower one. Playing Embrace Sin. Heard very good things about Embrace Sin. I'm not sure about it myself. Pull from Beyond is going to opt to, then banish the top. JP Moffer says, GG's, that was the Oscilio. The turn I shocked to play the second trick. I think I had info. That was blue in your hand, right? GG's, JP. Yes, you did know that I had 2 blues that I had fused with Oakenold. That was a very awesome game. You were up like 10 points at some point. I thought I was very dead. What set? Yeah, you can't play that. You may play this from your banish zone. When this hits a hero, they banish a card from their arsenal. And this is the overpower one. So this is coming in for 4. I don't have an arsenal. You're going to banish another card without blood debt. Oh my god, I have a win-loss record. That's so true. Updated. I think I played 3 games. I might have only played 2. If I'm trying to fatigue you, then we are going to pitch the Felling, which is not good right now anyway. I'm actively interested in putting this Felling to the bottom of my deck. This is not a huge problem. I am going to block with a Terra Sunder. Thank you, Vistructor. I'm not used to having the win-loss record, so this is new for me, needing to update it. But I think it's something people are interested in. I know Agroblaze has one. People ask him about it all the time. People have asked me what my win-loss record is. So I'm just trying to represent it, unless I am playing Jarl and just forget. Yes, we have played and won 3 games today. Crumble to Eternity breaks. I get to send a sick-ass hammer for 6 dominate, baby. Let's go. We're so up. Winter's Bite here would not have been great. I might have thought about it if my Tunic was on 3. I probably would have just arsenaled it. Dominate Hammer or Dominate Thing is the best time to get greedy with arsenaling cards because they cannot turn on Face Purgatory. But we're fatiguing. I'm not super interested in getting fancy. We've already seen the Viserai banish 2 of their own cards. These 2 cards didn't have blood debt, so they're just stuck here. Viserai didn't make a gate. They haven't flipped. Generally feeling good about my position in the game right now. Acknowledging that this is week -3. We haven't seen all of the cards yet, but I feel okay about my position in the game and my approach to the matchup. This hand is almost interesting. I could get real greedy with Crown of Providence, which maybe I'm supposed to, depending on what the Viserai does on their turn. I cannot currently turn on Rootbound Carapace. This is the Arsenal one. You get very greedy with Crown of Providence if I wanted to send Oakenold. This is 4, does not have Go Again. Can make this block, send an Oakenold, arsenal a Rootbound Carapace, or I could bottom the Rootbound, draw a blue ice card and blow up creepers. I think I'm on the Gamba. Remember when I said I was going to fatigue? That's me, baby. Let's go. We did it. This is the ice one. We're so up. No, my arsenal. Wait, this is the hand one? Oh, this is the hand one. Oh, no. Shit. To invite to chat. Sorry, I thought this was the Arsenal one. I thought it was the Arsenal one. I screwed up. What does that mean for my turn? Alright, this is the Banish one. If this is the Banish one, then I believe we are still going to get hit by it. I think the line here is weird. We Rootbound, blocking 3, we get hit, we banish Rootbound to put an Earth into our banish so that we are 1 Earth in Graveyard away from turning on the next Felling or Plow, and then we're just gonna Sledge. We could have Tunic Sledged here, but Oakenold is such a premium card if we're trying to stack for second cycle, and this sledge doesn't have Dominate, I'm not putting this game on YouTube anymore. The sledge doesn't have Dominate, so I would have been concerned about Face Purgatory. I'd rather just have the Oakenold for second cycle. Haunting Rendition is going to make a Rune Chant, prevent 2. Viserai will get to effectively draw a card. Maybe they banish something that doesn't have Blood Debt. Maybe if I'm trying to fatigue, I should be on Baby Hammer. Should be on Titan's Fist and Stalagmite. Like, maybe it's just the Dio matchup where having the Stalagmite is important enough. Banish a Lust Chant. This is the make a Rune Chant one. We know that they're running Embrace Sin because we've seen it, so turning on their Embrace Sin is maybe good for them. This hand doesn't really do anything interesting. Like, I can just Mangle here, and it's fine, because our opponent has a -1 counter on creepers, so Mangle has text. We are getting the opt to banish the top card, potentially create a gate. We have done it. This is the hand one, so this has an on hit. We've got a hand and an arsenal in graveyard. Depending on what our opponent does, we might just be sinking here, going Tunic Mangle, arsenaling the Ancient Earth Oak. Grasp is going to draw a card. Our opponent did top, so we know that they are going to hit. We're looking at when you create one or more Rune Chants. So Pride should not flip them, if I'm reading Pride correctly. But this will flip them. So we've got Rune Chant, which I believe means that I am going to Tunic, Pitch, Earth, Oak, cover the 2 Arcane, sink below the 4, and then Sledge. Alternatively, oh, this is 5. Okay. Alternatively, we just like block. 5 means that I will have to banish a thing. I think we just skip Rune Chants. If you're playing Succumb, then I'm sad. And we go block, sink, and then Tunic Mangle. Our opponent has 3 Blood Debt currently. They have Arsenal Destruction, Hand Destruction, and the on-hit deal 2 Arcane. They do not have Go Again. They don't have an action point. They have not flipped. So we will just Mangle here. Mangle has text. I'm not expecting it to hit. Our opponent has plenty of armor. They have cards in hand. Mangle does not have Dominate. But it forces them to do something. St. Havoc says, hey, these cards seem cracked. They're very good. Ice Aged Oaked, the blue one is like, whatever, it's an Earth Blue, it's fine. Ancient Earth Oak is nuts. I'm working on a short for YouTube to talk about Ice Aged Oak, or Ancient Earth Oak, and just how fucking insane it is. Like, it's so good. Reduced to Rune Chant, covers 4, does banish. 0 for 4, this is the Aura permanent banish they control. We're looking for D-React number 2, there it is, reduced to Rune Chant. So Viserai looking a little like Vinset in a way, where sometimes you do just get punished for attacking, but at the same time, Viserai is every time they make a Rune Chant, they banish a card if they're in front mode, Forsaken. And unlike Vinset, they don't necessarily make better turns by having a ton of Rune Chants, they just deal more Arcane. So maybe it is worth getting reduced. Viserai is already at 36 cards in deck, we have 36 health. We're a little kinda okay, like... The hero's brand new. This is my first Viserai game. I haven't seen enough of the hero yet to know, like, Am I in trouble in this position? But I gotta say, I don't feel terrible about being at 36 health with them being almost halfway through their deck. Sonata Dystopia. Witchtopia? Dystopia is the new one. It's an additional cost to play. So they will need to pitch a blue if they want to destroy the 3 rune chance. I don't have reactions in hand. I don't have a shield. I don't have gloves that block. So I cannot cover the overpower. We're going to see what they do with that. Currently, depending on how many rune chants they destroy, interesting. I was kind of expecting that they were going to pitch 2 to pay for Dystopia and then send, like, the hand one for 6. Is that an Oakenold? This is an Oakenold in hand. Depending on what my opponent does, if I'm allowed to just block 3 and have nothing bad happen to me, I will just Oakenold. I will just do that. I'm at 36, so even if their turn is like, here's 6, on hit, banish a card, on hit, make 2 rune chants, like, alright, here's an Oakenold. I'll arsenal this crumble and then crown it later. You've used 2 defense reactions. You could not face Purgatory. Opponent is a resource short of being able to do the thing they really want to do, which is grasp at the end of this. And I don't think they have a way around it, because even if they only pitch 1 to play Sonata Dystopia, I think we'd be fine. This is attacking for 7 with overpower. On hit, I take 2. On hit, you make 3 rune chants. It's not bad. The big problem here is the overpower, so I just can't. Which says that I'm probably supposed to block with Plow under. Take 6, go to 30, send the Oakenold, arsenal to crumble, crown it away later. Seems fine to me. As much as I'm like, I'm going to fatigue them, I don't have a better way to do this. I guess the better way to fatigue them would be to 82. Yeah, because this does have text. Well, I guess I would only 81. Yeah, this is fine. We're chilling. They... Right, make multiple rune chants, but Viserai needs multiple instances of making rune chants. Okay. Take 3 blood debt. We get to Oakenold. If they have a defense reaction in Arsenal, then they can cover this. Otherwise, they should not be able to. They can block 4 with armor, even if they have a 4 block in hand. They could not cover the Oakenold. Now, they do have 3 in Banish with the Usurp, that they would be able to have a turn. But currently dying to blood debt, possibly dying to damage. And if they give me face Purgatory to cover the Oakenold, then I just don't have to worry about face Purgatory anymore. Vestige of Flagellation was a very interesting choice from them, and I'm not sure if it was right. I definitely do gain life. And if I am correct that fatigue is the right way to approach this matchup, if they're trying to race me down and I'm trying to fatigue them, in theory, an anti-Viserai Jarl build would be playing Fiddler's Greens, which would make Vestige of Flagellation way better because I wouldn't gain 3. They would lose 3, which shouldn't matter to them. Life is a resource, and they would get 3 vigor. So, I see the vision behind Vestige of Flagellation. I don't know if it's good, but I get it. Runechant of Greed is the card draw one. Does not use their action point. Again, Vestige of Flagellation is a real card, which means I'm not going to be discarding fruits. We've got a Culling Song, Gloomblade. This is the hand one. I might just be getting hit by this. Make a Rune Chant. Viserai banishes a Sin Chant. we are going to pitch this fruit that I otherwise can't really get value out of. Coming for 4. This one does have an on-hit, which means I believe I'm blocking 5 and sinking my crumble, just to get rid of it. Ice Age Oak. Sick. That is not what I wanted. Ooh, we've got a Creepers. I have not taken Arcane damage this turn, so this may be a single-use Creepers from our opponent. Pitching Usurp the Shadow Throne. Love to see some interesting new cards. I don't think they're ever resolving this against me, but I'm very interested in watching them try. It does have text against my hero. Creepersing out, become the Shadow Lord. They do not get to banish a card from their hand because they have no hand, but this is going to cheat them an action point. They will get to, I guess, just send 4 at me. I don't have an Aura permanent to banish. I don't have an Arsenal to banish. Could be 7 Sin Nebula, which I'm happy to block. My hand currently doesn't do anything interesting. The ideal use of my hand is block 3 Sledge for 6. If they do 7 Sin Nebula, I even have the floating resource to 81. My opponent does not get to keep Creepers. I just block with Ice Aged Oak. What it does best, be a 3-block blue Earth card. And then we sledging, baby. Opponent takes 2, has no action point. We represent over 1/3 of the remaining life total. And we hard chillin'. Phoenix says, as someone who's been cooking with Vis, I am not sold on his deck. You mean Viserai generally, or just our opponent's build? Our opponent's build is not cooking, and I don't know if that means that the build is bad, or if it just isn't cooking. I think there are probably too many Sin Chants. I think for as little theory crafting as I've done with Viserai, 6 feels like where I want to be. I definitely could be sold on Lust if you're trying to do like big Usurp stuff. But even then, or maybe like Runegate, because like if you get to usurp a Rune Chant of Lust with Go Again, make the 2 Rune Chants, and then Widespread Ruin, like that's sick. Outside of that, I don't think the extra Rune Chant is super valuable. Greed, good. Card draw is good. It kind of depends on how much Go Again your deck has, because if you are like holding a card and then you just usurp Greed, who gives a shit? Pride feels pretty bad. Wrath feels even worse, especially if Fatigue is the way to approach Viserai. The overpower won't matter. Greed feels good. Sloth feels mandatory. Like, Go Again in base form is just so important, as we've seen how much blood debt our opponent has taken this game. Their banishes have not been great. 5 Sin Chance, are you on, what, 3 Sloth, 2 Greed? Opponent pulls from beyond. Ops 2 is going to banish the top card of their deck. Surely they should have done this first. Yeah, the best one is Sloth, gives Go Again. Feels like Greed, Sloth, and Lust are the best ones. I'm just not sold on Lust. I think Lust is a specific Runegate build. And even then, your Runegate is like... Widespread Ruin is the best one you have. And I don't know if you need Lust to support that. Plundersong, Gloomblade. This is the Arsenal one. I don't super care. I guess I'm just sinking this Everbloom. I'm trying to find something interesting. Blizzard is, I guess, interesting enough. We're going to get to Channel Lake Frigid Sledge. Opponent is mostly just dedicated to clearing out their banish zone right now, so I'm happy to give them a Frostbite, lay down a channel, and then 6. Again, not putting myself in a position where I can get face purgatoried. Definitely takes a specific build, but it's still better than all the rest that are left. I just don't know that you need that many sin chants. Sloth is good. If you're maximizing Go again with Embrace Sin, I could see Greed being good because you will have the action points to benefit from the card draw from Greed. Our opponent has not flipped yet, and I don't know if that's a weakness of their build or if they just haven't been drawing the right cards in the right order, but Greed in Usurper feels much better. Like, I can be sold on Lust for sure. I think everyone agrees that Sloth is the good one. Lust could be good, Greed could be good, and outside of that, I don't think that's it. Getting a grasp from the opponent, I don't hate that. It lets Mangle have text. It lets Frozen to Death have text. It also just means they block worse, which generally is good. Our Earth count in Graveyard is exactly 3. Plow Under is looking not bad if I can just somehow use 6 resources. I do not have a single Earth card in hand, despite what you might think Ice Aged Oak is based on the art and the text. So I do not get to keep Channel Lake Frigid no matter what I do. So very likely just looking to block 6 and then Plow Under. Embrace Sin, going to actually be relevant, bringing back Lust. Also representing +2. Getting to play Lust for free is not bad. They will get to banish with the Rune Chant generation. They could just usurp away my Channel Lake Frigid, which that is a line of play. They don't know that I don't get to keep Channel Lake Frigid, so it's not bad for them. This will be attacking for 6, which, hey, I get to use my my doodads. I get to do 6 block, which is exactly what I wanted. Turn on my boots. They are, in fact, usurping. Viserai is going to banish Sloth. There it is. A little late for them. They just banished 2 Sloths. It's really bad. Yikers. Autumn's Touch CNC. Autumn's Touch. We cover the 6. I do get to keep my Channel Lake Frigid, which is not irrelevant because Plow Under would let my opponent play a defense reaction from hand, and Channel Lake Frigid will make them pay for it. Let's see if they have an instant in Arsenal. Survey says no. We get to go 1, 2, 3 to get up to 4 Earth and Banish. Plow Under is now attacking for 6. Almost half of their remaining life total. I assume they don't have to block this. If they are trying to fatigue me, or if they're trying to kill me and not get fatigued, Sledge over the other one-hand hammer. So I'm playing Sledge over Shield Beater generally because I think Sledge is better in the matchups where you would want to be sending a 4-cost weapon. I tried Shield Beater previously. I just wasn't super impressed with it, especially if you're in a Guardian Mirror where you're on Beater and they're on Sledge. As far as Sledge against Viserai, if I'm trying to fatigue, I think is probably wrong. Sledge has felt fine all game, but I am thinking I am supposed to treat their fatigue like Dio instead of like Vincent. Vincent I would probably also run Stalagmite, but at least Sledge kills Nazareth with 2 cards or card plus Tunic, or eventually you start to threaten her life total where she does need to start blocking so that she can't just keep 5 cards against you the entire game. Oh, over Shield Beater. Yeah, I just like Sledge. I think Sledge is a better card in the 2-handed matchups. Shield Beater's not embarrassing. I wouldn't be embarrassed to play Shield Beater, but I think that Sledge is a better weapon. Hope that answers your question. It's a good question. It's a good debate for sure. This is the good one. You may play from your Banish Zone. This will not have go again. Ooh, they're going to become the Shadow Lord. Let's see what we get from Banish, or from hand into Banish. We do get Shadow Runeblade, so we get both halves. Bringing a Gate, which they've not used all game, and a Rune Chant, which is going to banish a 7. Not bad. Yeah, 6 is better math. And you have enough armor to cover not having the shield. Also, in those matchups, you're usually not blocking very much, at least in first cycle. All right, what am I doing? You did Usurp, so this is coming for 2. And then 7. We are going to Tunic. I am going to AB1. Our opponent is not representing Succumb to Temptation or any reason that I would care about taking 1 point of Arcane. We're going to cover the 7 here so that I don't take 2, and then I'm just going to Ice Aged Oak. Our opponent has an open armor slot, so they'll get at least 1 Frostbite. Ancient Earth Oak will have text because of Fruits of the Forest. It's representing their remaining life total, and also maybe a Frostbite. And I am not leaving myself open to getting Face Purgatory. You're welcome. Happy to answer the question, Hammerhead. Happy to answer the question, Hammerhead, is what I wanted to say. You all caught that. Rob, I'm wondering if we don't just kill them. Like, I think this build is unrefined and has definitely not been going their way. I'm sure their plan was to flip into Usurper at least once. But maybe we just kill them. At least with the cards we have available. I'm not super impressed with any of these attacks. Viserai definitely needs a way to pump them or a way to get go again, which, again, makes me think, like, either this build is not good or they have just drawn it poorly, which is the Runeblade problem. Runeblade definitely has that as a feature, not a bug, that the decks can just be drawn in the wrong order. We get 8 points of block from our opponent. Yay, I'm allowed to gain life again. What does my opponent want to do with 3 cards and having to pay through a Frostbite? I'm kind of sad that they can gain life again because they were getting low enough that Fruits of the Forest started to become a win condition. If I can just say, yeah, take 2. You get 2 vigor, take 2. Yeah. Hopefully you meant to pitch that Rune Chant of Gluttony and not play it. This hand doesn't do anything exciting. This hand, I guess, prevents 6 to 7 damage in some way and then sledges. We have an Embrace Sin. This is, I mean, this could put back anything except for Sloth. Oh, no. Sorry, I read it wrong. It can play Sloth. Oh my god, my opponent is going to get to clear their Banish Zone. Play Sloth. Usurp Sin Speaker, I guess. To find another one, and then Usurp Blood Song. Looking at 10 damage, question mark, if I'm reading this right. Oh, and pitch the card for 7 Sin? That's sick. Vanishing Embrace Sin. Our opponent has found their pitch stack. We are coming in for 6. This does not have an on-hit. My Earth count in Graveyard is 1, 2, 3. Blocking with Everbloom is not bad. I think I am just not blocking this. At this point, I can... Well, I haven't taken Arcane damage, but if this was Succumb to Temptation, I could cover it with Rootbound and Boots. Envy is the life gain one. Okay. And then you make a Rune Chant. Dancing Shadow Averser is pretty good. I will take the 1. Coming for 4. This does not have go again. If this does not have go again, then I think I'm just blocking with Everbloom. I take 1. I'm going to sledge for 6 and Arsenal Rootbound. I guess I'm sledging for 6 and arsenaling Oaken. I'm at 21. I have armor. Like, let's relax. What if I just killed my opponent instead of playing with my food? Rose says, beating your opponent because their own chest killed them would have been really funny. It's not, like, a terrible decision for them to be playing Vestige. If they are expecting Jarls to be playing Hard Fatigue, Vestige is a pretty good call. Fiddler's Green says, block 1, give your opponent 3 vigor. If life total doesn't matter. If I am hard fatiguing them by not dealing damage. Now that said, I'm at 21 to their 10 cards in deck. And I have not been hard fatiguing them. What's up, Vel Sagewalk? It is a Lupine stream. It's about to be a done Lupine stream because this is my last game. Gotta get here earlier, my friend. I start at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you all want to check me out tomorrow, I will be playing the less cool Runeblade, but the fully spoiled one, Aurora, on stream. I just like the deck. I think she's neat. Is she competitive? Not really. I just think she's neat. Ooh, I get to end this game in the coolest way possible, pummeling an Oakenold and arsenaling Felling of the Crown. As I've told you all, I've been working though, you got it. That's what your phone is for. That's what the second monitor is for. No, I appreciate you being here at all. Thank you. And I'm sorry that you had to miss the stream. I've been playing All In Together's deck. This is his Jarl build. It is undefeated for the day. We're beating the new heroes like Viserai. We're beating the best heroes like Oscilio. The deck is just super solid. Go check him out on YouTube. If you will all give me un momento as I quickly try to find his stream, find his channel so that I can link it for you. Rob's a great guy. Solid member of the community. Just generally a good player. Where is my... Here's Rob. Here it is in Twitch too, for all one of you who is here. Speaking of Twitch, I am streaming on Twitch now. As we speak, even. Check me out on Twitch. If you prefer watching on Twitch, I am there. Even if you don't prefer watching on Twitch, go head over, you know? Give me a follow. Give me a like. There's no subscribe, it's just follow. Get me affiliated so I can start asking you all for Bezos bucks. Opponent banishes Usurp the Shadow Throne. Opponent banishes, take 1 damage every turn. Yeah, we're just doing the cool thing because I want to do the cool thing. Thank you, Vertov. Yeah, there's no reason not to stream on Twitch. It's right there. It's cool. I'm going to be doing that. Every time that I stream on YouTube, I am also on Twitch. So hopefully you all get something out of that. Yeah, today's been fun. You're all sick. I'll be putting out a short later today about just how fucking good Ancient Earth Oak is. The card is nuts. It is a huge benefit to Jarl. It is a huge, massive addition to his card pool. Every Jarl deck should be playing 3 copies of Ancient Earth Oak. Of course, Rob. It's always a blast playing with you, too. I'm excited to see you at ProQuests. Just like generally very glad that you'll be at the Sacramento ones. Hopefully, we both equally do equally as well, because the last tournament you came to that I was at, it went a little better for you than for me. Wow, we did it. This poor Viserai. Yeah, I think this build is a little suboptimal. But they are collecting the Infinity Stones. They are definitely flavorful, playing... it looks like one of each Sinchant, so... That is a flavor win. Oh, is that Mario Mirror Me? Thank you all for hanging out. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, streaming on YouTube and Twitch. We'll be playing Aurora, Legacy of Tempest. She's just good. Another deck that does better than you would think it would based on how it is. It's been a blast. Super excited to be playing Jarl again. I am competing at Battleground Sonoma in October. I'm already locked on Jarl, so if you are going to that event, these are the streams to watch, because then you'll know how to beat me. Or you'll just know to concede as soon as we sit down. It's been a blast. Thank you all for hanging out. Hope you can join me again tomorrow. Until